Thank you for joining the Ironstone Educational Series, where we highlight our strategic partners to bring you the latest practice management intel to help you gain control, boost morale, grow your practice, and shift to a CEO mindset. I'm excited to collaborate with Lacey Shrum today, and our topic is all things client billing, one of a very neglected topic in our industry. And we're going to cover pain points and solutions to help get you on the right path to make an informed decision for your RIA. So please welcome Lacey Shrum. Thanks for joining us on the panel today, Lacey.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad that we have connected and become friends, and appreciate you having me today. And I think we share a lot of the same values on helping RIAs like with their practices, their inefficiencies, their operations. So I think it's a great partnership. Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we're the problem solvers, right? Or at least attempt to be on a day-to-day basis. So I'm excited about your background, and I want to hear all about it because you're a lawyer, you're a former chief compliance officer, and a crypto expert. So tell me about your background, how you got into your role today, and ultimately founding a technology company.
Yeah, after college, I went to work at actually Bernstein Private Wealth Management. So not completely independent, but while I was there, started law school, then went to an RIA that is, of course, completely independent, and worked through like the client services role, a pseudo advisor role, and then into chief compliance and doing some general counsel work. And, so through those roles, just seeing a lot of operational processes and where you could use technology. And at that time, and even now, like where the technology just isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I left there, I started another startup with a friend from law school, completely unrelated. But we got to the point where we needed technology, and neither of us knew really anything about how technology was built or how it worked. So we're at a crossing, of our business of what to do. And so I took just a plain dev class one summer and became completely fascinated with it. Writing code was like so exciting to me, just learning how all the pieces worked. It's very similar to writing a contract.
Mm-hmm.
Being a developer and a lawyer, you are rewarded for being very literal. So I did that. And then at that time got like really into learning about cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin, just, went down that rabbit hole from a technical perspective. And there's like so many other nuances to learn there. And then started practicing law again, and just really had, knew there was a space in the RIA world to build some piece of technology. There's still lots of room there to build, but, figuring out where is a really big problem and where can technology solve that. So I was still doing consulting work, and I just continued to see this problem over time of advisors. They were manually, when billing would come, which is most of the time quarterly in advance, it would just be a complete week or 2 or 3 weeks of stress. The systems that were out there, portfolio management systems, they had built reports for billing, but billing isn't really a report. You'll kind of see in the demo, like there's just so many nuances to reporting, and so much, it's more of a dynamic system. And so they would have these reports, and then they may or may not be using those reports. When they download the report, they would go in and say, okay, we have to look at, these clients have special situations. These clients, we're going to take off this. This client I talked to last week, and we're going to adjust these things. And so you just had these operations teams that were just like manic, trying to manually do all these processes, remember them, being responsible for them. It was just really stressful. And then you got into an exam, and every single regulatory exam has a question that says, here are X amount of clients, show us the fees for the last 2 years, and show us the contract. And as easy as that seems, that you should bat 100 on that, most firms I was seeing, they were anywhere from 50 to 60% correct, just because of all those nuances and changes. The contract wasn't getting updated. That's a manual process. Um, the fee schedule, was in someone's head. Someone was doing that in Excel. So, I didn't, all my clients, of course, no malicious intent, but it was just so easy for the regulators to like pick that out and just start digging. So yeah, that's where the idea for Smart KX came from, that we automate the client contract and the fee billing into one seamless process.
And you've married that together. So that's a wonderful opportunity to avoid the human error, and just really have much more of an operational effectiveness approach to running your business. So if you can just list out, what have you found with all the feedback that you're getting from advisors and from the field of the RIA space? What do you feel like the biggest pain points are that you're able to solve with Smart KX? And what have you really created? And I know you're going to show us a demo, but what have you really created to resolve those pain points that advisors are experiencing?
Yeah, I think they sort of go in four. One, the biggest pain point is really inefficiency. So, how long it is taking advisors or their staff to ensure that the client contracts are kept up to date, that the fee schedule is the way the advisor and the client talked about the fee schedule in a meeting.
Right. Amazing. It, like to your point, it's in somebody's head that they created the fee schedule, and it's some unique something that some other team member has no clue about what it is or why it is.
Yeah. And the advisor may come to an operation person's desk and say, hey, I met with the Joneses. We're not going to bill on cash next quarter, but only next quarter, not the next quarter. And like the person writes it down, and then, usually we'll go in after billing, go in, edit that Excel spreadsheet that's sending to the custodian. Then the advisor, a lot of times in these firms, you have advisors who are reviewing every single fee schedule, which is like, that's not painful. What the painful. And the advisor should be serving the clients, as should the ops team. So there's a lot of inefficiencies that automation just like creates. You'll see in the demo, you don't need to rekey anything. So you don't have to rekey account numbers, names. We have direct custodian links. Big pain points. It sort of goes by bucket. Of course, the whole firm creates more efficiency. They're able to collect their revenue quicker and faster and more effectively. Once they do collect revenue, then usually they get involved in an audit process, the CCO or the CFO, and that's really cut down. And just limiting their risk with clients and their risk with the regulators. Regulators are one thing. Clients, we're in a great market right now, and everyone's really happy.
Yes.
But when we get into a not good market, which I've been through before, clients, find ways. And the first is the fees. Well, you're not billing me what you said you would. Why not? And then really like the value destruction. When you look at an RIA, their value is, of course, their employees and also their clients, and the legal document that binds the client and the RIA together. And if those aren't in good order, it's destroying the value of your company.
So tell us about Smart KX and how it does save the time. Again, I know we're going to see a demo of this, and we're going to, make sure people know how to get in touch with you and connect, and so that you can show them a personalized demo, and just the time saving it's going to have. But, what are the things, why did you choose what you chose when you built out Smart KX and the features that it really allows advisors to take advantage of?
Yeah, so we knew that when we started that billing was really difficult. So it was manual, it wasn't correct all of the time, and advisors were leaving money on the table. And so we went back to billing and we're like, okay, why, trying to figure out why this is. Well, what is billing reliant on? Like, what do you need to do billing? You need really two things. You need the legal agreement, how much am I going to charge you, and what accounts am I going to manage? And then, of course, you need the AUM, the assets as of a certain day or dates, to calculate it. So that's one of the pieces that's very different about what we're doing. Is a lot of times if advisors are doing their billing, they're doing it in an Excel, or they're using a portfolio report that is in a portfolio reporting software. They're using their report and then they're going in and editing it. I've only come across one advisor that does not go in and edit a report, that they just download the report and send it in. I've talked to thousands.
That's a rare individual that doesn't edit something.
Yeah, he's also the only one I've ever seen who only has one fee schedule.
Again, something very rare among the field of advisors.
Talk to thousands. So that's why you see we've taken fee billing. We can do fee billing, really great. We have some features I'll talk about, and we're adding more. But we've also tied it to giving the client notice, or having the client sign off, or keeping a clear audit trail, because a lot of regulators will say it's okay if you change the fee schedule, especially if it's lower, but you have to give the clients notice. Right. And you have to have a detailed record of that. So if that's not all in one centralized place, it's like all over. So when you get in a regulatory exam, you're like pulling in all these pieces all over. So that's why we've put fee billing with that notice to the client, or with signing the client contract. And a lot of the features, when we meet with new clients or even our current clients, the first thing we always do is walk through, what pain are you having? Like, what are you dealing with? What's hurting you? Where do you need the aspirin? Like, is it your elbow? Is it your head? Is it your ankle?
Right.
And just really walk through those pain points, because billing is very complicated and very nuanced. So we have lots of features, but a lot of times it's specific things that advisors need. And really, that's how we've built our product, is going to advisors and saying, like, okay, if you could solve this thing, or if something's really bothering you, what is it? And we've solved around that. So it is a product that's been completely built with input from advisors in what they want to see and what they want to do easily and automated.
And that's typically not how things are built out. So building it, by advisors for advisors, I think it's going to make you really stand out among the sea of sameness within the technology space. And I think there's just so many options that advisors have been left out of the, understanding and clarity of what's even on the table for them to use. So let's talk about the custodians that you are connected with, how that works, how you're working with them, what does the advisor business owner even have to do in that perspective, and the choices that they just have to make around technology and custodians.
Well, to answer one of your questions, like, what does a firm have to do? Our setup process is really short. So most of the onboarding is just giving us access to certain data points. One being the custodian feed, which is a really quick form to fill out on the custodians, flows through overnight or sometimes a few days with different custodians.
Right.
And then we're able to see that data. Then we ask for two very specific files of the households. So which households you have and which accounts. We're able to pull that all through our back end. And so there's no manual work there. And then if the advisors already have it, like their fee schedules that apply to each household. And so sometimes that's a little, we work a lot with advisors on that, because that fee schedule where they have it listed, they need that person that has it in their brain, right, to sort of get that all in at one time. But the onboarding is very seamless. It's not, I think you talk about how advisors have been left behind. And that's one of the biggest issues I think they have with technology that scares them, is they're used to a year to 2 years long onboarding process. Right. That's very expensive. It's very stressful. And then another 6 months of training. And that's just that's not realistic in most pieces of technology that you buy. It should be quick and easy. The onboarding should be simple, and the use case and product should be very simple. So you are, it's when you got a new iPhone, you didn't take a training on how to run the iPhone. Like,
but I will also say I will never switch from an iPhone because I don't want to have to learn another piece. I'm like, that's painful in and of itself. My better half has a Samsung, and like I have, like, I'm out. I'm like, I have no understanding, nor do I want to understand. So what I'm hearing you say is you've made a piece of technology around client billing that's really very simple, but it's captured all of the features that are going to make the advisor, business owner, RIA as efficient as possible. So what features, and maybe you're still have more on the custodian piece, but what features are you adding, and what are you finding that, what else, what's coming next?
Yeah. So we have connections to Schwab and TD. We're adding others as they come on. There's of course non-custodial assets, which we've built a solution for. If you have private funds or things that aren't held at a major custodian. So those are some really big features we're working on. Some other pieces are like multifamily relationships or entity relationships. So when you get into larger clients, the children might be included in the billing household to give everyone the lower fee rate. Different entities that belong to households that need their own contract, maybe yes or maybe no on combining the fee rates. We're adding in some features to be able to send clients directly the ADV and privacy notice, so that when you begin the client relationship, you can send that, and then every year it can be sent. And the reason we're adding that is in what we do is because one of the biggest features we're adding is an audit page, which will show you the life cycle and the life history of a client. So you'll be able to easily see in one place, here is the relationship initiated, here are the disclosure documents that are required. We've invoiced. Oh, we made a change to the billing. Here we invoice. So you'll be able to see that full life cycle all in one place, which will help, obviously with client relationships, like being able to go back and see what you billed them and why. Also from a document retention aspect, and for the regulators, when they come in and say, we need to see this life cycle, you can do it in 3 minutes versus, an hour to 2 hours to find all the documents.
I mean, it sounds amazing, and just the ease of use and setup is something that I think many in this space aren't necessarily able to do. So who do you really see as competition, and who are your ideal clients that will really fit for this product of Smart KX?
Yeah, our ideal clients are, obviously clients with the firms with the pain point. So firms who are relying on a key individual who, I posted about it this week, but this is the last business day of the quarter. So it's stressful whether you're doing billing before we go into the holiday weekend or after it, and you have to think about it. But, where you see this one or two key individuals that are like fully responsible for maintaining this like very cumbersome system. Most of our clients are those who are looking to kind of elevate what they're already doing. The Excel and the key individuals have, you asked what our biggest competition is, it's Excel. Like that is our biggest, biggest competition. And so advisors who are like, okay, I want to move from a practice to a business. I'm investing in different pieces of technology to streamline that and to automate my processes, and to like trust in technology to do things and get things done. So the law firm that I practice at, lawyers are very similar to RIAs. They don't have a lot of technology available to them, and there's a lot of questioning about the technology that is. But there's only so much time an RIA has, similar to a lawyer. And so the RIAs who want to start moving from, I have a core practice, into start like, I really want to run a business, is where a lot of our clients are.
So bottom line, more efficient, running the practice like a business, taking away the human error of all of your billing. You're going to have peace of mind around the whole entire process and ready for the audit to be able to show every single thing that you've done for the client instead of in your head, which is more often the case with so many advisor firms.
The other thing that we're seeing too is when you get into a little bit larger firm, the advisors, which we've talked about ops, business owners, compliance, but the advisors are really suffering as well, because they're like, well, I just had the meeting and then I came and told somebody it needed to be changed and then it wasn't changed. Like,
right.
And I had an advisor tell the owner of her business, like, if you do not get this billing fixed, I am leaving. Like, it is because the advisor has to go to the client and say, I'm sorry, we messed up your billing, and the client's like, you manage my money. Why can't you calculate billing?
Right.
Right. So we're really seeing like, it really just impacts every piece of the firm and sort of it makes it a better relationship between everyone and have smoother operations, which is always great.
Lacey, show us what Smart KX is all about. Like, let's really see and dive into the meat and potatoes here.
Yeah, I'd love to. So this is our user interface. Here you see that I'm set up as an advisor or an operations team member at Unique Wealth Management. Over here, we have one household, which has my two accounts coming in here. You can see they're coming in from the custodian, Charles Schwab. And so all the data, because we get that direct feed to the account numbers and the client names and account names come through. So you don't need to rekey any of this data. And then down here, we have different fee schedules. So here's just like a standard fee schedule, very typical of what we are used to seeing in the industry. The tiered fee schedule, the minimum, we don't have any on there. And then this is checked as default. So you'll see in just a second when we create the fee schedule that this one will be automatically applied to the household, and then we can go in and edit down from there. We also have some other ones here, a flat 60 bips that we'll use in this example, and then a no bill. So this is a lot of times, which we'll use is like a no bill on cash. So we're going to do two things. One is create the fee schedule. And when we create the fee schedule, it only needs to be done once. And then that data can be put into the client contract and sent for signature, sent for notice to the client by email, or just created. And then after that, we're actually going to bill on the fee schedule that we created. So because we've combined the contract and the fee calculation together, you only have to enter in that fee schedule one time. And the other beauty of it is that we've built the product so advisors have all these nuances and irregularities. We're building all those pieces in so you can put them all into the fee schedule one time, and then it's properly documented with the client and also ready to bill on.
This is taking out a huge amount of human error potential, is what I see. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, so right now, as we talked about that contract, someone has to go in and manually do it in Word, edit in, all the account numbers, all the fee irregularities, and it's just not getting done. Like, it's just too manual to do. And so this cuts down on a lot of that work. So we're going to create a fee schedule first. You'll see both my accounts came in here. We can choose what fee schedule we want to apply to the account as a whole. Then we can tell the account where to bill to. So it defaults that every account pays their own fee. But of course, you see a lot of times a taxable account will pay the fee for a non-taxable account, or you'll have one cash account that'll pay all the fees. So that's where you can describe that here. Next, we're going to drill even further down from the accounts and put in any exceptions. So no bill on cash is very common. So we'll put that here. What this means is it'll take cash out of our two accounts and put a zero fee schedule on it. And then next we'll do a position. So, sometimes we'll see I call it grandma's Disney stock that the advisor's like, I'm not going to bill you on that. It's very deep in your IRA. Your grandma gave it to you. And so we're, in this case, just for example purposes, we're going to pull out a position and bill that at a flat 60 bips. So we'll do that for Tesla. And then same thing, this is going to pull the Tesla value out of the account values, charge them the special bips, not in the tiered.
Excellent.
And then signing, here's where we can send this directly for signature to the client if we wish. And then here's our summary. So this is exactly what we just put into the system that is essentially our fee schedule. We have the date, the contract reference internally. We have the option to add different contract types. So firms usually have 2 or 3 different legal contracts that they're using. And one thing I should say is the legal contract is already loaded in. So we have a template in there right now, but if the client wants to use it that way. And then billing, of course, we can do quarterly in advance, and then in arrears, average daily balance. Here's the fee schedules that we've used, the account type, the accounts, who they're billing to, our special fee schedules and what applies to those, a review of the exceptions. And then we also have just added an additional feature to give notifications if there's any like major cash changes. So if you're billing quarterly in advance, you may be doing some cash flow additions and withdrawals.
Right.
And so that will help you, like, give you notice for that.
Excellent.
So we'll hit submit, and that's it. So we've put in the fee schedule. It's been put in the contract and sent for signature if we like, or just for notice to the client. And the fee schedule's done. Like, there's no taking it from a piece of paper and putting it into a system, no keeping track of it in Excel. It's already baked in there and ready to go.
This is almost too good to be true for the advisor community. This is amazingly simple, but I can only imagine how difficult this was to build.
Yeah, it's been a learning experience. So we've definitely gone through different iterations as advisors. We started out with this problem and we've kind of solved it in all different ways, but we're really happy with where it's come. It's been a labor of love for sure.
This is outstanding, Lacey. I can't wait for advisors to, really connect with you and you just get into the weeds with their specific situations so you can help them to overcome all of the manual operation around billing and to help them move to a more automated set it and forget it experience.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the goal. We, most of our features, that we've gone through today and that I'll tell you that we're building when we come up are all based on input. So we've taken from our clients or prospective clients who are suffering these problems, and they've said, we have this really weird nuance. Like, that's where all of our features have come from. So it's truly like they're getting the product that they need to solve their very unique niche situation.
So this is basically advisors building this out based upon your feedback that you're getting from the field.
Yeah, exactly.
Outstanding.
So we have the values. So once these accounts are in a contract, you'll see, like I was clicking, they go out to Schwab, they pull the values in. If we click on this, we can see the positions. And this is, of course, as of close of business yesterday. This down here. And so then, let's say it's time to bill, we're going to bill for the quarter. We go into the contract and hit bill, and it calculates billing exactly as we just built, 2 minutes ago. The amount that's due from each account, how the fees were generated, and then each exception, that Tesla, resulted in a $3 fee. And then that was added to the top up here. And that's it. You hit submit, and we've created a invoice that can go to the client. And we've also sent that data to the file to be sent to the custodian to say, Laceys, move $215 out of this account to the advisor's account.
Outstanding. I love it. I love it.
Thanks.
Well, I appreciate the demo, just to give us a little bit of insight of what we're going to find, and give the advisor some real world application of what's behind the clicking of the buttons. So
yeah,
I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you for showing us the demo.
You're welcome. I think we're at like 7 or 8 minutes, and we've fully sent out a client contract, which usually takes about 90 minutes on average for advisors, and billed with all the exceptions, which of course, most advisors aren't billing until the 10th or the 30th, between the 10th and the 30th business day of the month. Some advisors up to 60. So just because they're manually calculating all those things that we went through. So
amazing. 7 minutes versus 90 minutes. I will take back that time. So Lacey, give us the bottom line on Smart KX.
Yeah, the bottom line is, if you want to improve your bottom line, a piece of technology that will, help you do that, help you collect revenue faster and more accurately, lower your risk, and improve the value of your business. This is one space that advisors can make a small investment in that can really, explode those things for a firm. And we've seen it. And we've seen advisors just be really happy and pleasantly surprised that something like this is available. I didn't know billing could be so easy. I can have a good 4th of July weekend. I can enjoy college football on the September 1st weekend, and really have an impact on the product and what they want to see and need to see around revenue and making those decisions. Then we would be a great fit for these firms. Any firm who's suffering with the Excel calculations, reliance on a key individual, and who wants to increase the value of their business, are somebody that we can help.
And not to mention, the client experience is going to be that much better because it's seamless, transparent, and peace of mind for the client, for the advisor, for the whole entire process system. So excellent.
Exactly.
So how does an advisor or business owner team get a hold of you so that you can really dive deep into their specific, scenario and situation and do a demo for them?
Yeah. So we are at smartkx.io. I will also, you can also email me at Lacey, Lacey, at smartkx.io. There's also contact information on LinkedIn. We post a lot of blogs about, I try to, I say they're crafty and sometimes funny in a compliance regulatory way.
At least you can have some humor around such a potentially dry topic. So well done.
Yes. Thank you.
Well done.
But yeah, so our blog has lots of information on it. And then we also are hosting some webinars that are, feature different people in the industry and what they're doing and how they're, just really similar to what we've done here, but exploring their business model and what help they're giving advisors. So I would love to have you on that as well. And I was going to ask you, maybe not on recording, but so yeah, connect with us on our website, and then I'll give you my information here. Reach out and we would love to chat with you.
Perfect. Well, Lacey, it has been an absolute pleasure to learn about Smart KX, you and your expertise and how you're actually solving the problem in the RIA space advisor field to really increase the operational effectiveness for a seamless experience for business owner, team, and clients. So again, I appreciate your expertise and look for us again on Ironstone's educational series to bring you the latest and greatest practice management intel.